Happy Monday and welcome to the new book releases for the week of June 24th. Our last one for June, almost said May again, or if it's not Monday, any day, whichever day you are watching this video. I hope you find a good book off of it. There will be timestamps per genre. I'm Morgan. If you haven't been here before, I'm going to mispronounce things, but I hope you still enjoy the video and we'll check out some more. Starting in fantasy, our first title is being compared to the likes, or is a mashup of The Witcher and Naomi Novak's books, I think just in general. This is Foul Days by Genovia. Yep, I'm very sorry. As a witch in the walled city of Chinigrad, Kosara has plenty of practice treating lycanthrope bites, bargaining with kikimoras, and slaying blood-sucking uppers. There's only one monster she can't defeat, her ex, the Zemi, known as the Tsar of Monsters, she's defied him one too many times, and now he's hunting her. Betrayed by someone close to her, Kosara's only choice is to trade her shadow, the source of her powers, for a quick escape. But in a city where everyone is out for themselves, who can Kosara trust to assist her in outwitting the biggest monster from her past? Then we have a prequel novel of sorts. This is The Daughter's War by Christopher Bellman. It's set during the war-torn goblin-infested years just before the Black-Tongued Thief. The goblins have killed all of our horses and most of our men. They have enslaved our cities, burned our fields, and still they wage war. Now our daughters take up arms, and we are following Galva as she is going against her brother's wishes and joining up with the Raven Knights, which is a new unit where I guess it's mostly females and war corvids. So murder crows. Might have said the wrong bird. I think they're ravens, not crows, because ravens are supposed to be smarter. I think corvids are ravens. That's not the point though. We're going to move on to sci-fi now. And the first up is the conclusion to the Pandemonium duology, Echo of Worlds by M.R. Carey. This one started with Infinity Gate last year and is talking about the Pandemonium, a political and trading alliance of a million worlds, except that they're all really just one world, Earth, in many different realities. And when an AI threat arises that can destroy everything the Pandemonium has built, they'll eradicate it by whatever means necessary. So I want to read that one and this next one. Probably the whole series, maybe. I know. Should probably try the first book before we dedicate to the whole series, but The Bound Worlds by Megan E. O'Keefe is the conclusion to the Devoured Worlds trilogy. The first book is following two people who are stranded on a dead planet with her mortal enemy. A spy must survive to uncover a conspiracy. She's a revolutionary. Humanity is running out of options. Habitable planets are being destroyed as quickly as they're found, and Naria Sharp thinks she knows the reason why. He's the heir to a dynasty. Tarquin Mercator never wanted to run a galaxy-spanning business empire. He just wanted to study rocks and read books. Which sounds adorable. Our last sci-fi is a bit, different. Ghost of the Neon God by T.R. Knappner. Jackson Nagin is a petty crook living slim on the mean streets of Melbourne. When he crosses paths with a desperate but wealthy Chinese dissident begging for his help, Jack responds in the only natural way. He steals her shoes. And yet, despite every effort to mind his own business, a wild spiral into the worst kind of trouble begins. Murder, mayhem, fast cars, fast-talking, bent cops, and long straight highways into the terrible beauty of the vast Australian outback. Romantasy this week brings us some sequels. The first one up is The Curse of Sins by Kate Dramas. Staying anchored in the light, they told her, but what had the light ever done for her? And this follows up The Curse of Saints that came out last year, which I did do a review for. Aya's duty should be clear. Return home with once sworn enemy Will to serve their queen in the upcoming war against a rival kingdom, one whose pursuit of dark magic could bring the realm to its knees. The first book had the enemies to lovers, I guess kind of the chosen one, slow burn, and betrayal and backstabbery, multi-POV, lots of magic, animal companions, which I'm so happy that the animal companion is continuing into book 2, and we're actually seeing maybe a little bit more of it in book 2, maybe. Okay, we will continue on though. The other book is The Mist Thief by L.J. Andrews. This is the third book in the Everseas series. It says, welcome to another installment in the Everseas world where pirates, fae, and elves collide with Vikings in a dark fantasy romance between a morally gray cinnamon roll and the broken princess who steals his heart. In romance this week, we have a novel love story by Ashley Poston. Aline Merriweather loves to get lost in a good happily ever after, the fictional kind anyway, because at least imaginary men don't leave you at the altar. She feels safe in a book, at home, which might be why she's so set on going to her annual book club retreat this year. She needs good friends, cheap wine, and grand romantic gestures, no matter what. But when her car unexpectedly breaks down on the way, she finds herself stranded in a quaint town that feels like it's right out of a novel. Because it is. Then we have a modern twist on Beauty and the Beast a little bit. One Cursed Rose by Rebecca Zanetti. They christened me Alana, and while the name means beauty, beneath that surface is the depth I allow very few to see. I'm sole heir to Aquarius Social, a media giant about to succumb to an unseen enemy. My father's solution is to marry me off to the son of a competing family. My reaction? Not a chance. Now I have just a week before my wedding to change my fate. We move into YA, and our first one up is Children of Anguish and Anarchy by Tomi Adeyemi. This is the conclusion of the Orisha series that started with Children of Blood and Bone, where our main character's whole life was upended by a cruel king who decided that there should be no more magic at any cost. And this included her mother, who was a powerful spirit wielder for their village, and so she lost everyone. And in the first book, I do believe she's trying to hide the fact that her powers are growing and learn to use them and learn to seek vengeance. And now we are coming to the end of her tale. Our next one, I do believe, is the second book in this world the author is writing. Sleep Like Death by Kaylin Byron. Cinderella is dead, but Snow White fights on. Princess Eve was raised with one purpose, to destroy the night. Far too many subjects of Queensbridge have been devastated by this evil sorcerer's trickery. Eve's own unique magic is the ability to conjure weapons from nature, makes her a worthy adversary. That is really cool. As she approaches her 17th birthday, Eve is ready to battle. But her mother, Queen Regina, has been acting bizarrely, talking to a strange mirror alone every night. Then we have the YA thriller, Two Sides to Every Murder by Danielle Valentine. Most people's births aren't immortalized in a police report, but Olivia was born during the infamous Camp Lost Lake murders. 17 years later, Olivia's life looks pretty perfect, until she discovers the man she calls dad is not her biological father. Now she wants answers about her bloodline, and the only place she knows to look is Camp Lost Lake. Most people don't spend their formative years on the run with an alleged murderer, but Reagan did. In the court of public opinion, her mom was found guilty of the deaths at Camp Lost Lake, and both of them have been hiding ever since. But Reagan believes in her mother's innocence and is determined to clear her name. And so both girls are going back to Camp Lost Lake, because it's apparently going to be reopening again. Yes, let's open the murder camp. Our last YA is We Shall Be Monsters by Tara Sim. Kajal knows she is not a good person. If she were, she wouldn't selfishly be risking her sister's soul in a dangerous bid to bring her back to life. She would let Lisa rest in peace, but Kajal cannot stand the horror of living without her. As Kajal prepares for the resurrection, the worst happens. Her sister's soul warps into a Bahuda, a dangerous wraith-like spirit, and Kajal gets sentenced to death for her sister's rampage. There seems little hope of escape until two strangers offer to free her. The catch? She must resurrect the kingdom's fallen crown prince to aid in a growing rebellion against a tyrannical usurper. Moving into thrillers, we have All the Colors of the Dark by Chris Whitaker. 1975 is a time of change in America. The Vietnam War is ending, Muhammad Ali is fighting Joe Frazier, and in the small town of Montclair, Missouri, girls are disappearing. When the daughter of a wealthy family is targeted, the most unlikely hero emerges, Patch, a local boy who saves the girl and in doing so leaves heartache in his wake. Patch and those who love him soon discover that the line between triumph and tragedy has never been finer, and that their search for answers will lead them to truths that could mean losing one another. Our next thriller has a hint of fiction romance, maybe. Love Letters to a Serial Killer by Tasha Coriel. Recently ghosted and sick of watching her friends fade into the suburbs, 30-something Hannah finds community in a true crime forum that is on a mission to solve the murders of 4 women in Atlanta. After William, a handsome lawyer, is arrested for the killings, Hannah begins writing him letters. It's the perfect outlet for her pent-up frustration and rage. The exercise empowers her and even feels healthy at first, until William writes back. We move into fiction, though, with A Daughter of Fair Verona by Christina Dodd. Once upon a time, a young couple met and fell in love. You probably know that story and how it ended. Hint, badly. Only here's the thing, that's not how it ended at all. Romeo and Juliet are alive and well and the parents of 7 kids. I'm the oldest, with the emphasis on old, and a certified spinster at 20, and happy to stay that way. It's not easy to keep your taste for romance with parents like mine. Picture it. Constant monologues, passionate declarations, fighting, making up, making out. It's exhausting. Each time they presented me with a betrothal, I've set out to find the groom-to-be a more suitable bride. After all, someone sensible needs to stay home and manage this household. But their latest match, Duke Stefano, isn't so easily to palm off anyone else. The debaucher has had 3 previous wives, all of whom met unfortunate ends. Conscience forbids me from consigning another woman to that fate. As it turns out, I don't have to. Then we have Honey by Isabel Banta. It is 1997 and Amber Young has received a life-changing call. It's a chance thousands of girls would die for the opportunity to join a girl group Cloud9 in Los Angeles and escape her small town. She quickly finds herself in the orbits of fellow rising stars Gwen Morris, a driven singer-dancer, and Wes Kingston, a member of the biggest boy band in the world, ETA. As Amber embarks on her solo career and her fame intensifies, her rich interior life is frequently reduced, surrounded by people who claim to love her but only wish to exploit her, and driven by a desire for recognition and success, for agency and connection. Amber comes of age at a time when the kaleidoscope of public opinion can distort everything and one mistake can shatter a career. Last for the week is a horror fiction thriller mashup. The Eyes Are the Best Part by Monica Kim. Ji-won's life tumbles into disarray in the wake of her oppa's extramarital affair and subsequent departure. Her mother, distraught, her younger sister, hurt and confused, her college freshman grades, failing. Her dreams, horrifying yet enticing. In them, Ji-won walks through bloody rooms full of eyes, succulent blue eyes, salivatingly blue eyes the same shape and shades as George, who is Oma's obnoxious new boyfriend. George has already overstayed his welcome in her family's claustrophobic apartment. He brags about his puffed-up consulting job, ogles Asian waitresses while dining out, and acts condescendingly toward Ji-won and her sister, as if he deserves all of Uma's fawning adoration. No, George doesn't deserve anything from her family. Ji-won will make sure of that. So it's a coming-of-age / mental unraveling and some dashes of murder story. That's all for this week's list. If there's any that I didn't mention that you know are coming out and you want people to know about, feel free to drop them in the comments down below so we can all find out about them. And I really hope you did find something on this list you want to pick up. Maybe you enjoyed it enough, you'll go check out some of my other videos and subscribe if you haven't yet. I hope you're running something awesome to read today, and I'll see you in the next one.